What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. Today we have ourselves a jam-packed episode. We travel back to the San Siro as we face off against our former club in the first round of the knockout rounds of the Champions League. First leg coming up for you all, but also three new additions joining us today. First up, Ousmane Dembele is the first player we went to go ahead and sign, as courtesy of one of your comments left. It was the most liked comment of last episode, so felt I had to do it. Went out and checked him out. It turns out he had a release clause on him of 60-something million quid, so we're getting him for significantly cheaper than what I thought it was going to be. We negotiated the contract, gave him 300 grand a week, and he was happy with that. We following this one went for Sergio Gomez, the man that I showed you last episode. He had a release clause of £3.7 million on him, so we went ahead and activated that as well. And lastly, we picked up a game-generated centre-back from AC Milan, a 6'6", big unit. You'll see that to come a bit later on in this one then. So, like I mentioned, pretty much following the signing of Dembele. Next up was Sergio Gomez. They were Dembele's stats, as always, because you guys have to see the stats. But there is Sergio Gomez, £3.7 million for an 83 rated cam. Yep, steal is the word I'd use for that one. Even if we're not to play him, he still will be able to be sold on for a bit of a profit should we need to do that. It just gives us a little bit more money at the end of the day, and football is a business. We have to consider that too. So I was quite happy getting that deal through on the cards. And then we jumped ourselves into our first game of the four that you're about to see today. We've got two post-com followed with two live, of course. The live games coming against Wolfsburg and that game against Inter. So first up, we jumped into it and we faced off against Frankfurt, a side that aren't doing too bad at all in their Bundesliga quest. And it was a debut for Dembele as well, as I thought he got himself his opening Schalke goal there. But actually, it was an own goal. Grimaldo's cross heading towards the Frenchman. But unfortunately, it just didn't quite go all the way. And one of the defenders tapped it in his own goal to give Schalke a 1-0 lead. So 5 minutes in and we were already starting off as we meant to go on. Werner through to Richarlison, who got it behind and smashed it on the left foot into that bottom corner. Class finish from a class player. And I believe that now makes him overtake Timo Werner in the goal standings for the Bundesliga, which is quite interesting indeed. To be fair, though, Richarlison did have a pretty good episode last time out, so he's been in good goal-scoring form recently, so it's not surprising in that regard. The finish, as I show you again there, is quality into the bottom corner. Second half, still not with us because we are still in the first, and Richarlison getting through again like he did for his opener. Same position, same outcome. And it was Schalke 3-0 up just before half-time. And like I said, not even in the second half yet, and we were cruising to this victory. An own goal and the two from Richarlison were the reason that we were leading at half-time. Then we got underway in the second half, and into the 70th minute or something like that, Richarlison went down the left-hand side, whipped the cross in, and Elmer Barrack, of all players to head it home, gave us the fourth goal. It was a really good header, actually, by him as well, but I was quite surprised that it was him who put us in front. Like, well, not in front, but gave us the fourth goal from a header. Like, I don't know who else it would have been, but out of all the players, I didn't think Elmer Barrack would score a header of this quality as well. The cross from Richarlison met really well. No chance for the goalkeeper. 4-0 for Schalke, and that was the end of the game. 90 minutes in, we won by 4-0 here against Frankfurt. And as I said to you guys, they aren't actually having a bad season. They're doing pretty well in the Bundesliga. So to win it 4-0 was quite surprising to me. And then we went in for this guy, Francesco Capradossi. I'm going to hope I've got that right. I'm sure if I haven't, you guys will tell me in the comment section. Playing for AC Milan, 21 years of age, centre-back. 6'6" in terms of height. Paid 30 million because at this point we had 5 days left in the transfer window. Not enough time to scout him. So I didn't actually know what his overall was or how much we should give for him. Paid £30 million. And when you see, he's actually 81, 82 rated at this stage. So I don't think it's a bad buy by any means. You know, he can grow in the training system as well. So we could get enough growth out of him to really warrant that transfer fee. So he joined up, and that was our third and final signing of this window. However, there was time for a potential outgoing. We got an offer for Saigankov, and I know he's a favourite with you guys. So I came into this and I was thinking in the back of my mind, with the addition of Dembele, it means Saigankov could well be losing his place in the side. So I counter-offered this and I went with something ridiculous of £95 million, thinking there's no way for an 86 rated player who's only worth 42 that they will go ahead and accept that. And they didn't initially. So again, I went back in for 93.8 million, only 1.2 less than that first counter-offer. And Marco Silva and Everton came back and said they would match that. So I mean, I know some of you are going to be disappointed with that because you are fans of Saigankov. I don't really, I'm not one or the other. I don't dislike the player. I don't overly like the player. I'm in that middle area. So in my head, when I did that, I was telling myself there's no way they're going to accept it. Okay. And they at first didn't, obviously. So I was sat there kind of considering it, thinking, I don't know how on earth they've warranted that. That's a good enough fee. So I know there's probably going to be a few of you out there in the comment section that are going to hate me for selling him. I apologize to you guys out there. I didn't expect them to come back and say yes to that. And at the time, in hindsight, it looked like a good idea selling him for that much money. And I just felt like because of the fact that maybe he wasn't going to get started as much with the additions we brought in of Dembele, that possibly that was a good idea. I mean, you guys can let me know in the comment section. Do what you will. You know, if you guys want to slate me for it, go ahead. If you guys think I did well, go ahead and put that as well. I don't know. You guys have your own opinions. And I'm sure I'll see quite a few different of them in the comment section. But like I said, I thought it was the last incoming for Capradossi, but it actually wasn't, because we went out and picked up Meret as well, or Meret, as the backup goalkeeper to Frank Brown, because at this stage we didn't actually have one, and I didn't want to risk it and have an injury, you know, and have to play like a 68 rated Brazilian goalkeeper. So I thought I'd better go out and pick one up now we've got the money to do that. And that ended off our transfer window. So Saigankov leaving for all that money was, I guess, the big talking point, because it ended up being the biggest deal of the transfer window as well, that 93.8 million transfer fee to join Everton. So I think for his part, he's got a good deal, because he's now playing football guaranteed over there in the Premier League. For us, he wasn't guaranteed a game. He would have to make do with potentially being on the bench a couple of times, then starting a couple of times. So I think everybody's kind of going to be happy in that regard, especially Everton as well, getting a player of that quality. But I do feel they've overpaid. If it was me personally, I would not dream of paying £93 million for him, but that's just me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to say that right now. But we took on Dusseldorf for the final game of the post-com section. And I tell you right now, we struggled in this game. I don't know what went wrong with us. We just didn't have any creative vibe there. And we just didn't get going at all in the game. We were trying to create chances throughout the entire match. And unfortunately, we were held by Dusseldorf, a side that I would not have expected to say that. Coming off the back of a 4-0 win against Frankfurt to draw 0-0 with Dusseldorf. It's not what I was expecting from this one, but that is the way it went, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, that ends off the post-com section. I will see you all in just a second for the live games. Here we go then, people. It's time for the live part, and we kick-start it with a game against Wolfsburg. But following this, you guys have seen, we have the game against Inter Milan in the first leg, round of 16 of the Champions League, coming days after the game against Wolfsburg. But I'm not sure what side we're going to play. Don't know who's going to start and everything like that. I think for the most part, I'm going to try and name a very, very strong team for that game against Inter Milan, because obviously I want to win it. That is part and parcel of what I want to do. So I think for that, we're going to keep off Dembele. We are going to just go with a normal side. I might even put Gomez actually and start him in place of Richarlison for this one and get some use out of him. McKennie and Marino, we're going to go with a back four. Arana Lopez will start alongside Capradossi. And we might even start Cucurella as well at left back and do it like that, just so I don't risk injuries to my big name players. But of course, we've still got an unbeaten run to protect. So we're still having to win the game here. And we will see if we can do that when we take on Wolfsburg just in a second. And we are ready for this game. I'm going to go with the away kit. They're going to go in their home kit. And we're going to see if we can get the win, even with a little bit of a weaker side. It's still a very good team, though, as you can see right there. All these players are still quality in their own respective rights, so there should be no problems whatsoever for us here today. But we'll see if we can get the result and then move on to their big one against Inter Milan, the one we're excited for. Not that I'm not excited for Wolfsburg, because I still am, you know, there's still a job to do here, but, you know, that's different class. Inter Milan coming up, former club, big team, and I'm actually going to check as well before we jump into that game if they're still unbeaten in the Serie A. And we immediately have some defending to do. And you know what? After the last game, we got a 0-0 draw. We were disappointing in that, in the league, and we need to bounce back here. So we could have to defend for a bit of the game. But then when we get the ball, we need to use it effectively, as Gomez immediately into the thick of things, sadly, gives the ball away. And then goes on to foul the Schalke. But at the moment, you can see the league tables. It pops up right there. 8 points ahead of Bayern Munich in second place currently. The points we are having are slowly decreasing because we're getting draws here and there, and they're clawing the games back. But I think for the most part, provided we keep doing what we're doing, we should be okay. I mean, I can't seem to get the ball off of Wolfsburg here in this early stage. 12 man against Cucurella. Going to lose it here as a Spaniard. And Cucurella again will try and win it back. And I'm being serious. I'm struggling to get this ball off of Wolfsburg. I can't seem to tackle them at the moment. Ball whipped in. Out comes Big Frank to punch it. And finally we get a little bit of a touch. I mean, there's some really, really sloppy challenges going in, and the referee playing advantage for stuff that's minuscule at this point. But as I say, we are struggling at the moment to stop Wolfsburg on the ball. I don't know what it is, but they are protecting this well today, and I can't seem to get close to them. Corner whipped in. Pereira will try and win that header. It bounces out for Berge, who is on the edge of our box, and we block it behind for another corner. It's all Wolfsburg in this first half hour. I can't seem to get the ball under control and be able to make plays with it. McKennie heads it back into our box, which is not the area you want it from Weston McKennie. As Werner tries to bring the ball down and get us under a bit of possession, which finally we will do. But I said this last time and we gave it away straight away. Let's get the ball and keep it now. Cucurella, Hudson-Odoi, Callum Hudson-Odoi! First shot of the game for Schalke, and it fell to Hudson-Odoi. And he curls it over the top of the crossbar. Too much power behind it, not enough accuracy. And it's not found the net. In fact, it's not even found the target. Let's put it as it is. Let's call it what it is. Poor in the end. And after 40 minutes or so here, there's been nothing really to show for the game. Neither side creating a real good chance. Wolfsburg being by far the better side at protecting the ball. But we've defended when we needed to defend. As you can see again, Wolfsburg on the edge of our area. Marino can't win back the ball after trying to. We eventually do win it back though. But like I said, neither side with that quality yet. Okay, we've got two changes. Dembele and Han both coming on. I'm not sure if that's really going to make too much of a difference, but we need to find something to try and do at least create a chance, because right now it's just not happening at all. We've had a bit more of the ball second half, better than we did in the first, but even on that note, we haven't used it well at all. I mean, now as well, it takes one moment for them to change this game as De Jong into a really good area. Get the shot away and De Jong will score! Wolfsburg 1, Schalke 0. And the unbeaten is on the line here. Our unbeaten season is going to come down to this game right here. De Jong scores, and I'm not sure what this is happening right now. It is still part of the celebration. Something is in the way, though. I can't see what it is. But De Jong scores, and Wolfsburg have the lead in a game that has been very, very poor throughout. And now this is where Schalke are tested. We said we wanted an unbeaten season. It comes down to this. We have to find a way back into the match. Marino, El Mubarak trying to find a way forward, and he's dispossessed by Vesialko, who puts it in a touch. And this is where we find out what Schalke are in fact made of, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to say about the way we played, really. Poor comes to mind, but truth be told, there's all sorts of things that are coming to mind right now, especially with the game against Inter Milan coming up in a few moments' time. Dembele, Werner to strike one. It's deflected, and it's going to be a corner kick. Whipped in, Werner! Get in! Timo Werner, just when you talk about the fact that he was having a poor game, pulls us back on level terms by the scruff of Schalke's necks. Wolfsburg 1, Schalke 1, and it's come from a set piece. El Mubarak swings the corner in. Near post, up goes Werner, wins the header, and it's a tremendous one of that as well. Timo Werner, the man for the big occasions. He's had a poor game today, had a poor episode really as well. But there was a comment saying it in the last episode. He is a fan favourite here. And when you can see that he does stuff like that, you understand why. Timo Werner pulls us back on level terms with his 9th of the season. And we needed that. De Jong's opener cancelled out, and now it's back on level terms, but it's still not job done. We still have to go and get another one. And looking back at it as well, it was actually Werner's deflected shot which led to the corner ball. As we win another header on the edge of our area. That's Badou as Frank Brown catches. Could have been 2-1. That really could have been 2-1. Yeah, it was Werner's deflected shot that led to that corner getting in for us. And then obviously his finish from the corner. He tries to play an over-the-top ball, which doesn't work out. And I tell you today, right, I have really struggled to stop Wolfsburg coming forward. They've protected the ball so well. As Frankie de Jong takes one poor touch that he's done all game. That's the first one of the game that he's done poor. But it's been really difficult keeping them off the ball. And when they've been on it to win it back, I've struggled with that today. If that's anything to go by, I wonder what Inter are going to be like. As Han finds Marino. Back to Han. Han to McKennie. McKennie to Han. It's so central right now. We're trying to just work the space if we can. Weston McKennie's trying to find the ball through to El Mubarak. Nearly caused a bit of problems, but in the end it was dealt with pretty okay. Marino going to win that header though. Find Werner. Hello. This might be the chance. El Mubarak to Han. Han to finish. And Han will finish. And the offside flag is down. Schalke 2, Wolfsburg 1. Completely turned the game on its head. Get in. And look at this then. El Mubarak's through ball. Han's finish. And it's Wolfsburg who had the lead but have thrown it away here. Much better in this game for us in the last sort of 20 minutes or so. This is how we're going to have to play against Inter Milan in the game to come with a minute left in this one. The substitute Han has maybe just given us a massive 3 points. Not only keeping our unbeaten run going, but also because Bayern were closing the gap game by game. So that, even with their result, if they win, will keep us 8 points clear in what was looking like it could have been a very bleak day. Because remember as well, not only could we have lost our unbeaten run here as the game comes to a close, had we have lost this and Bayern won, that would have moved the gap down to 5. Similarly, if we'd have drawn it and they would have won it, it would have moved it to 6. So, in many ways, to get the result there is big. And I said, let's see what Schalke are made of. Well, they've shown it there. Get in. And you can see match facts as well. That was how close the game was. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm we've skipped through. And as you can see, Inter Milan no longer unbeaten in the Calcio, but still topping their group. Their league, I should say. Which means, of course, we are the undefeated side coming into this. They'd have lost theirs, sadly. However, in this game right here, it is the top of the Calcio against the top of the Bundesliga. Our former against our current. Inter Milan versus Schalke. And I'm really excited to give you guys this game. I'm going to change around the sides slightly. And I will see you in just a couple of moments. And we are ready then. We are going back to the San Siro. To our old stomping ground to face our former club with our new one. And our side is very much ready for the game, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Strap yourselves in, because this is going to be a big night tonight. The current champions against what many consider to be the favourites to take the competition in Schalke. It's Inter versus Schalke. It's up next, and kickoff is imminent. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. And as good as it feels to be back, we have played here, remember, as well, against AC Milan in the group stages. You can see so many of our former team in this side. I mean, their midfield already. Dele Alli, Neves, Pogba. And it looks like up front they've got Pulisic. They've got Martinez, who was under fine form when he played under myself. So there's still a lot of our former players here. But already we get a chance, maybe. Werner. Oh, De Ligt steps in. It's going to be so tough breaking them down. We built pretty much a super team at Inter Milan like we did at Brighton. But luckily we never had to face Brighton. How is that a free kick, ref? Immediately. You're having a laugh. There's nothing in that. As Ruben Neves strikes one towards Frank Brown. A lot of our former players as well against their former club tonight. But on a serious note, this team was one of the most well-rounded, brilliant sides we ever put together. So we never had to face Brighton, which I was glad about. We have to face Inter though. In fact, if I'm looking at this team right now, I actually think that it is pretty much the side we left them with, apart from Mbappe, who isn't starting at right back. But Danilo's going to find some space here as he finds now Ousmane Dembele. Dembele in towards the box. Dembele shot towards that near post. And saved by Inter's goalkeeper. I'm not even sure who it is tonight. But it is a decent save. Dembele breaking at pace. And you can see he went for the near post. I actually want to check something real quick. Because the reason I didn't show you the two teams walk out was due to copyright. I wasn't sure if we'd get copyrighted with Champions League. I know the music does. So it's Lucas Hernandez at left back, who we purchased, remember. And Bakayoko at right back. So that is an area we can attack at down that right-hand side of Inter Milan tonight. And I think it's Gordon over on the right as well against his former club. Bernd Leno in goal, actually, for Inter Milan. Whew, that's a big goalkeeper. Tell you what, there's only one different player in that side that I wouldn't have put in. Obviously, Bernd Leno has joined since. And that is Bakayoko at right back. But kind of really interesting to see that. Now, I'm going to whip this in towards that near post. And I'm going to try and get Danilo up for the header, which is put in. Because, of course, Gordon's on the right and he's up against Luca Hernandez. There's Danilo again with a bit more space. Going to try and find Dembele, not for the first time tonight. Bakayoko again with a bit of defending to do here. But Dembele makes it look easy as he glides past him. Dembele shot deflected behind Robinson. All 6'7" of him gets his body behind that shot and blocks it. Richarlison. Dembele again. Ousmane Dembele's in again. Dembele, and this time it's Leno with another save. That is 3 chances we've had. Bernd Leno saving twice. It's going to be unbelievably difficult to score. Right on the stroke of half-time now. And it remains 0-0 at the San Siro, even though we've had by far the better of the chances here. Dembele found again. Bakayoko having a pretty much nightmare on this side against him so far, as Richarlison's going to find Dembele yet again. Dembele pulls it back in towards the box, towards Richarlison. Just about keeps it under the challenge from Robinson. Gets the shot away and it's deflected behind for a corner. Not sure why he couldn't get on the ball there, Richarlison. It seemed to delay it and he ran back past the ball. Header one in the box and we can't get it down. It's just not falling for us at the moment. And at half-time, it is Inter 0, Schalke 0, and they're going to be by far the happier side. I feel like we need an away goal. We're going to have to get an away goal in this game. Because they've got so much good attacking intent from the side that we built there that they'll come to our ground and probably score. Dembele having 4 opportunities in that half and hasn't taken any of them. It's disappointing. He's getting the better of Bakayoko all day, every day on that right-hand side. He just can't find a good enough chance to put it away. Here is Gordson. Second half gets underway. Noah Gordson in towards the box of Inter Milan. It just closed up. And that's not what I wanted him to do, play it all the way back to Stark. Luckily, we keep hold of the ball into with bodies back behind it. Not sure if it's their game plan or if it's just the game does it to every single team you play against. Because it seems like every team we've seen them come up against recently just sit with men behind the ball. And it gets increasingly frustrating trying to craft the chances. Danilo driving forward yet again. Now going to find Richarlison. Richarlison shoots. Blocked once. Again he gets it. And again he tries to shoot. But it's Pogba who gets in the way for the first shot. And then I'm not sure who cleared the lines after that as we tried to play our way. And Dele Alli just picks up the loose ball. Martinez is isolated up here though. But like I said to you guys, they'll be happy with a 0-0 in the Milan. It means no away goal. Han. Dembele. Robinson up against Ousmane Dembele as he turns on the inside again. Still Dembele. And still Dembele. And still Dembele. And still Dembele. And Dembele scores! Get in! Yes! 8 minutes left of normal time here at the San Siro, and Schalke find the breakthrough. Come on. That is massive as well, because tonight I thought we were going to get a 0-0 draw. I mean, one away goal still doesn't really do enough, but what it does mean is, of course, if they do concede at our ground, it does mean that we have that away goal to fall back on. So, worst case scenario, it goes to extra time if we only concede once. Dembele has done bits there. Paid massive bucks for him when he came in at the beginning of this episode, and you was the highly suggested comment, most liked comment, sorry, of the last episode to bring him over and join us here at the Veltins Arena. And you can see why. He's had the backing and the beating of Bakayoko all night long on that side of our pitch, the left-hand side for Schalke, the right, of course, for Inter Milan. Now we're just waiting for him to finally get the goal, because he'd done everything up until that point to cause the issue for Bakayoko. And eventually he has got it as Han now carries us forward. If we can get another one here, this will be good. Unfortunately, Werner can't find the ball through. Bakayoko has now gone off and Rulison's come on. But I think it's a little too late for Inter Milan now, because he's already been beaten by Dembele. And at the San Siro then, my friends, it has ended. Schalke 1, Inter Milan 0. I don't even know what really to say. We did largely all of the job there. Had most of the ball, nearly all of the possession. You can see, obviously, my players, my current players shaking hands with a few of my old players. The fact of the matter is, we built an incredible side at Inter Milan that was always going to be difficult to beat. But is that one away goal going to be enough? We're going to have to see until the next time. Dembele's goal, the difference. And I tell you what, if we hadn't have bought him today, that could have so easily ended 0-0. Yeah, it's a weird one, but we got the result out of it. And we go out into the next game as advantage holders. You can see we've absolutely battered them, and yet we only have the 1-0 to show. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, a like would be greatly appreciated. A couple of nervy moments in there, especially the game against Wolfsburg going 1-0 down before you were able to bring it back. We remain unbeaten after 21 league games. Also in the Champions League, as I said to you guys, we now travel back to Germany, and we will face them at the Veltins Arena, and they will have to come here and do bits against us. You can see the other ties and how they are currently panning out in there too. Brighton not actually in this, as you guys know. We won all of our 6 games in Group E. I don't think there was another team. Oh, wait, there was. Man City winning 6 in Group H as well. Other than that, there was no other team that managed to go fully 100% record. There was quite a few unbeaten. Spurs. There was also PSG. Us, of course, as we go down, and Man City. So 4 unbeaten sides coming into the knockout rounds. Only 2 with a 100% record, which is us and City. But of course, guys, I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't know what's going to be in store when they travel to the Veltins Arena to take us on. We begin next episode with the game against Leipzig, followed by Werder Bremen. And then we have Hertha Berlin before we take on Inter Milan in that second leg. And the game we drew 0-0 was actually Dusseldorf. That was the side that we actually played and were disappointing in the earlier stages of today. So, until next time, guys, if you are around here and like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well to be notified whenever new videos go live. And I will see you all again for leg 2 against our former club in the next episode. Make sure you stay tuned. In fact, one last thing before we want to go. I'm going to check and see just how Brighton are getting on, because they're not in the Champions League knockout rounds, and they're not even in the top 10. Oh, they are the 9th, sorry. They're not in the top 8. Brighton's struggling since we've left them. That's disappointing to see for them as well, because I felt like, you know, we left them with a really good team. So I don't know why they are struggling so much. If we check out the Champions League, were they in it? They weren't even in the Champions League. What about Europa League? Yeah, they were. They were in the Europa League. But they got Rooney in goal, good goalkeeper. And Naki Williams, good striker. Solanke partnering with Loda. Martial still there. Ollie Watkins. Vinicius Jr. Like, how are they not performing? They've got an unbelievable team that we've left them, and they're struggling. Then again, we have taken a couple of players off them, of course. So that is also things you have to note, that they possibly could have been smashing it if we hadn't have taken those players. Kevin De Bruyne is still there as well. So bits are there now as well. Nabil Fekir. I mean, let's face it, they really shouldn't be struggling in that league with a team like this. They shouldn't be. They should be top 8 with ease. Joe Gomez, Fosu Mensah. So yeah, for me, I don't know how they're struggling, but they are. So anyways, guys, that's it. I'll see you all again next episode. Hopefully you have a great day. Catch you again soon. Adios.